딱 한 달만 참고 레시피 얻어서 식당 먹어버리면 되잖아.
솔직하게 말해요. 너 여기까지 온 이유가 뭐예요?
Hi everyone, my name's Navi. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I kind of look like a hot mess, but that's okay because, you know, majority of the people that watch K-dramas after about episode 10 look like a hot mess. So I'm just embracing the K-drama version of me, and I brought a lot of coffee with a giant straw. Because, you know, today we're going to talk about Tastefully Yours and what is more tasteful than coffee. Iced coffee on a really hot day when you're so tired, but you have to film because, you know, you promised yourself because goals are important. So let's get started. If you aren't familiar with Tastefully Yours, let me give you a quick review. So this starts with the Han family. Han families own multiple restaurants. They're basically the leading people for food, and they're trying to acquire more restaurants. And the main person, the marketing director, is one of their sons, the younger son. They have an older son as well. The father is not present. No one talks about him. We don't know where he is. And so the story starts with Han Byung-woo, who is the marketing director at this company, and his go-to thing is where he goes to different restaurants that are struggling or have really good recipes. He's kind of despicable initially. He takes their recipes, says that, you know, we're going to come in, we're going to help you, we're going to invest in this, and then eventually just steals the recipes, and then the restaurant shuts down, and those recipes end up going to really like high Michelin star restaurants, but they call them diamond stars. Fun fact, I learned this recently. Michelin stars are actually from the Michelin tire company. And it is actually initially started off as a guide for people that were buying Michelin tires. They would get this guide, and in there were all of these destinations that they could go to, like, for example, restaurants, resorts, and things like that. So it was really to promote tires, and now it's become this huge thing. I just recently found that out, and I was so like, whoa, what? Maybe I'm living under a rock, but I was really surprised by that. Did you know that? So Byung-woo's mother, who is the chairman and the owner of this company, says, hey, whoever of the two sons brings me 3 Michelin stars or 3 diamond stars will get to keep this company. Byung-woo's restaurant, the one he manages, has 1 star, and then the other restaurant that his brother manages, Seonwoo, has 2 stars. So they're really competing against each other, and then there's a lot of like sibling animosity. So he decides that I'm going to make this one dish sparkle for this restaurant that he's currently opening. Ultimately, though, realizes that there is a different restaurant that is selling their star product, the thing that they're banking on. And this restaurant, he's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go there. I'm going to see what this is all about. And that kind of starts our story.
이 셰프가 만만치가 않아. 성깔도 실력도 가져야겠어. 꼭.
So he goes to this amazing restaurant in a countryside that no one really visits, and meets Mo Yeonju. Yeonju is very, without a lack of better word, uptight. She is very strict with what she cooks with, how she cooks it. She's only available at a certain time. It's not really a surprise to anyone that her restaurant is not doing well. She has a lot of bills. The landlady's basically like almost ready to kick her out because she hasn't paid the bills for a very long time, and she's not really getting a lot of support. So seeing this, Byung-woo gets an idea in his head, obviously, and he's like, okay, look, I will help you. You clearly are not doing well, so I'll help you get a better restaurant going. And so she's like, nah. Initially, she's very hesitant. She's like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't think it's a good idea. And you don't even know anything about cooking for the most part. And then eventually, he wears her down a little bit, and then they sign this contract for 30 days that he will work with him. She's like, if you want to do this, you're going to have to work with me, and you'll work here, and then I'll move forward with investments. Unbeknownst to her, obviously he's there so he can invest in the restaurant take the recipes and give it to his other restaurant that has been serving this dish or trying to serve this dish as their main course. It's all really a ruse to get her recipes. So they build this contract where she will manage the kitchen part, but he will manage the front of the house and kind of everything related to that, the marketing and everything like that. So he's hoping that that will make it so she'll trust him, and then eventually he'll be able to invest and by invest, just really take her recipes. Not really a great start on his part. And obviously I feel bad for the female as well, but I would have just assumed that, you know, if somebody's coming from this big company that owns a lot of restaurants, has a lot of money, why is he coming to this restaurant? Why is he coming to me? Like, I guess that's something that is really surprising, that she doesn't even question it. I guess perhaps it has more to do with her belief that she is that good of a cook. She is a really good cook, in her defense. She is a really good cook, but I'm just really surprised that that never came through. Or maybe I'm just thinking too much and it's supposed to be a surface level thing. But they do this contract, and then as they start to build this restaurant and become better, they start to get feelings for each other. There's people that they hire, and kind of like, that's kind of the start of the main story and how it progresses. I don't want to give too much away, but I did want to do a little bit of a story in case you didn't know, and if you were thinking about watching it, what you would think about it, and how and what you'll get out of it. So let's get started with the review. To start with, the likes that I really enjoyed in this show. I was really surprised that it was only 10 episodes, but initially I was like really happy that it would only be 10 episodes, because I've watched some K-dramas that I'm like, oh my god, 16 episodes, 20 episodes, and they're all like an hour and a half long. And if it progresses the story, that's great, but then there's some episodes that are just filler episodes and you're just wasting your time. This one felt a little short in that way. Like, I initially liked the idea that it was 10 episodes. I loved the beginning. The first like 5 episodes are really good in my opinion. I don't know how 1 minute you don't really like Byung-woo, and then as time goes on in the next episode or 2, you start to really enjoy it. I think the actor, he's a great actor. Anything kind of watched him in, he's been really good. Ultimately, obviously, honestly, I just had finished Squid Games as well, so his character in Squid Games is like, I don't know. But it was still really good. He was really good in it. And I do definitely think that he does bring a great element to the story and to the K-drama. And then the other people that really did a good job is the side characters for the restaurant. So there is the one that's helping him, Cho Seong, who is really good. He's my favorite, and I watched the show with my wife, and he's also her favorite too. He has great comedic timing. Honestly, again, everything I've watched him in, he's really good. He was in Weak Hero 2, and he was kind of a wuss, but at the same time, he was actually really fun. He has great comedic timing, like so good. Honestly, the bromance between him and the main character is amazing. I think they're like my favorite duo.
진짜 안 먹어본 거야?
근데 언제부터 내가 그쪽 손님이 된 거야?
같이 밥 먹으면 식구 된 거지 왜 그래요?
Chun Seong starts off kind of like an idiot. The same way you feel about the main character is how you feel about him too. But he actually, like, in a few episodes starts to own up. He really starts to get under your skin because he's really good. And the character written is really well, but the actor does a really good job bringing it to life. And I think he's just phenomenal. Like I mentioned, the beginning is really good. The first 5 episodes really like pick up, and we watched this in a weekend and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. The first half. And then by around episode 6 or so, it starts to drag on, and then you're like, dude, there's only like 4 more episodes left. Like, where's this going? Come on, let's speed it up a little. Because they spend so much time wasted on certain like things, and it seems like nothing is progressing. So you're really surprised by that. Another thing I really enjoyed was looking and like seeing the food be prepared. and like the steps that go into it, the highlight of the Korean food. I love Korean food. It's one of my favorites, if not the favorite. And I really enjoyed seeing the back end of it, where it's like how they make like those small dishes that we grow to love. I think they show like how soybean was made. They're collecting a lot of these rare ingredients that go into like certain dishes. It was just really good to see the background and the history behind that as well. So I really enjoyed that part. I didn't expect it. And I love watching cooking shows. Like I love Top Chef. It was a happy occurrence, and I was like really excited to learn more about the history of it. Okay, the dislike. Whew, there's a lot. I was so hopeful and excited for this. I had thought that it would be really good, but since it had taken me about like 3 weeks to watch it after it had aired, I had seen some of the reviews, so my radar was like up. I'm like, oh, okay, well, it did get decent reviews, but not the best. But the main things, honestly, that I disliked was the main thing I disliked was the lack of chemistry between the two. It really didn't seem like there was much of a romance going on, or there wasn't a lot of chemistry between the two main characters. The female they try to portray, you know how like in a lot of my videos, I'll say I really like strong female characters. But they're like trying to make her seem strong, but she actually comes off as a witch. She's stoic and doesn't really show a lot of emotion, and calls him like an idiot, a doofus and things like, I don't find that cute. I don't think that's cute. She's very disrespectful. I understand he's obviously not, he didn't come with the best of intentions, but the way she treats other people, like they're almost beneath her, I'm not a huge fan of, so it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. I wasn't a huge fan of that. I love strong female characters, but I feel like there's a difference between a strong female character and kind of a bitch. She kind of was like, don't treat people like that. That's not okay. I feel like I've definitely seen a lot of characters in K-dramas and in like American shows, all different shows that portray a really strong character without making her seem like this awful person that just has no respect for anyone, and doesn't care for anything. And I wasn't a huge fan of that. She doesn't have to be like this sweet, cute person, and you can be respectful and still be really strong. So I wasn't a huge fan of the female character. I feel like she could be strong and have more depth. And honestly, I sensed more chemistry for the main guy with the side character, like the side chef that he had, and then for the main female character, there was more chemistry between her and the second lead than the main two people. I was just really surprised. Like, it's perhaps honestly one of the worst chemistry that I've seen in K-dramas, and I've watched a lot of K-dramas. The other thing that I wasn't a huge fan of was the second half of the show, where it keeps dragging on and on and on, and she keeps saying, like the main character keeps saying that she really loves her restaurant, and then just one day decides to just leave her restaurant to other people to manage so she can go do the things that she wants. How many restaurant owners or just business owners do you know that will just leave their restaurant or their business to other people to run? Ones that have been working there less than 2 weeks. To just let them run it by themselves, and it'll be fine. Like, especially someone who takes great pride in their work. And I'll give her this, she takes great pride in her work. I might not like her as a character, but I do respect that she does her work very diligently. And then one day just decides, oh no, this side guy came, and he's asking me to come to Japan, so I'll go to Japan. No! You don't have a sous. You have a sous chef that barely knows how to cook. You have a front of the house that is trying to take your restaurant. Guaranteed. I mean, she doesn't know that, and you don't like him, and you don't trust him. But one day you're just going to decide to do that. I found it very unlikely. The ending sucked. I'm sorry, that there's just no other way of putting it. The ending, like, sucked. In the end, she just says, okay, I'm just going to admit defeat to these Michelin star restaurants because I don't want to get in a fight. That's basically it. Because, you know, family matters more because the judge is the guy's mom and the other judge is the brother as well. So she just decides, I admit defeat, it's okay. And then she gives them this wonderful meal. And I'm like, you went through all of that to just admit defeat? Like, have some pride. I guess, I don't mean to yell. I've got some strong emotions about this. I didn't understand that, and I didn't think it was okay. And I guess it comes back to the whole you have to be a strong female, but then at the same time you bow down so easily when you're faced with a challenge, and somehow emotionally you have to be the mature one, because I don't think that's actually mature, to just admit defeat because, you know, well, it's a family matter. Like, no, that's their problem. They need to figure that out. But if your career, your restaurant, your dish that you've been working on is on the line, and then one day you just decide, okay, no, it's okay, I admit defeat. You can have it, I don't need it. I wasn't a huge fan of that. Like, where's your pride? Honestly, in a nutshell, I feel like the main guy and his bromance buddy, the one I just mentioned, and then another female that works at the restaurant kept this show going, in my opinion. Everything else was pointless. None of that made actually any sense, and it kept dragging and dragging. And then again, same thing though. Another side, the side boy. I love the person who played the side character. I have loved him since Mr. Sunshine, and he was a side character in that too, but at least that had substance. Later on, you find out that she had attended a really prominent school in the US, CIA, the Culinary Institute of Art in New York. And then she was offered a position in Mirror. I don't know if it's a real restaurant or not. I'm assuming not, but it's supposed to depict a really popular French restaurant in Japan, and it's supposed to be like one of the best. It has like 3 Michelin stars at least, and then one day something happens, and she admits that it's her fault when it's actually the side boy's fault. And then says that, oh, I'm just going to leave and I'll just quit. And then she resents him for not calling her. And I understand that why she would be upset that the side boy didn't call her after she admitted to his mistake. But here's the problem. She didn't have to admit that. You made that your thing. Like, you want to be the one that falls on the sword. But then you resent other people for not helping you, or you resent them for letting you do that. Like, that's not okay. He was about to admit his mistake. Like, I might not like the side boy, but at least I can say this. He was about to admit his mistake, and she's like, no, I did this. I will quit. I just didn't, overall, I just wasn't a fan. The side boy didn't have any reason, I feel like. It all came back to wanting the restaurant and wanting to take care of his employees, which is great, but he went about it a wrong way. And then she feels super betrayed. And then they come back to Korea and then try to wrap up all of these things. It just felt like it was short, not to the point, and a lot of loose ends, a lot of plot holes. And then at the end, it just didn't make sense. So overall, I gave it honestly, initially I gave it a 6 out of 10, but now that I'm talking about it, I'm probably going to give it a 5 out of 10. And that's a low rating for me. But I do feel like it required a little bit more, it required a lot more than what was presented. My wife gave it a 4 out of 10, and that is also a low score for her as well, because she's like, well, I feel like I wasted my time. And I don't necessarily think I wasted my time, because I do enjoy watching K-dramas. But at the same time, I just wish that there was more to it than what we ended up getting. Because I was really excited for it, because this is one of the main roles that the main guy is in, that he does a really, a different character than he normally does, because he's usually this really cute, sweet person. Might I remind you when the Camilla blooms, I think? It was a super popular show during COVID, I believe, and that's kind of what shot him through the popularity. And I just feel like I was very excited for his new show, and then he does a really good job. So I'm still glad I watched it for that reason, and the side characters. I just wish the story and the female and all the other characters were better. Okay, I need to do a quick shout out because Nona, the side sous chef, is awesome, and she and the side guy have really nice chemistry. He's also obviously a lot younger than her, but she is so cool. I feel like, you know, if it was a real thing, they needed to get together because they made sense. So she was really awesome too. But yeah, I mean, like 5 out of 10, honestly. Like I'm really surprised by this review. I was super hopeful, but unfortunately that's where it ended. I hope you enjoyed this quick review, and if you felt the same way, let me know. I know certain people feel a little differently with K-dramas, especially we all get different things out of it, so I was really hoping that I wasn't wrong, or that's just how I felt it, because I know when I watched When the Phone Rings, I really liked it up until the end, and then a lot of people felt that way too, but they still enjoyed it quite a bit too. So let me know in the comments below what you thought about it. And I hope you enjoyed this quick review. I'm sorry if I ranted quite a bit because, you know, there's coffee. There's a lot of negative emotions associated with Tastefully Yours at the moment. But maybe in a year or so I'll come back and see if I like it a little bit better. But thank you so much for watching this. My name is Navi. It was lovely seeing you. I hope you have a wonderful day.